Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name's Sarah and I'm the mom of a 15-month-old little boy named George. And today we're going to be continuing our series on how to Montessori on a budget, just talking about what you can do at home. So this video is going to be short and sweet. It is part 3 of our 3-part series on Montessori on a budget. So we have been to the thrift store in part 1, we've been to the dollar store in part 2, and part 3 I want to just talk about what you can do without any stores at all, just what you can do at home. We haven't talked a lot about the last category for toddler activities. I mentioned this briefly in the last video, but there are 5 different Montessori activities for toddlers. So you want to look for things that incorporate hand-eye coordination, music and movement, practical life, arts and crafts, and language development. So we talked a lot about most of the 4, and the music and movement I haven't talked much about yet because we were on 2 shopping trips, and I really don't think you need a shopping trip to do music and movement. Music and movement can be done anywhere, anytime, with anything that you have on hand. Something as simple as tapping your hand on a surface, there's your music. Movement is wiggling around in a circle. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be crazy. What I have been doing with George since before he was born even is just exposing him to different types of music. So we have Spotify and Amazon Music, but whatever you have on hand, even if it's old CDs or old cassettes, or even if you just go to a free concert in the park, radio, use the radio, different channels. If you expose them to the different genres and the different types, even ones that maybe you don't like yourself, it's really good for sort of expanding their mindset. And movement, I mean, movement can be a tough one living in a small space. I can attest to that. We live in a small space, but there's always outside. And we live in Canada, and I'm even saying there's always outside, because if you dress properly, you can always go outside. Even if it means getting them all dressed up in their snowsuits and heading outside on a snowy day, it's still always there and it still always costs nothing. So utilize your public parks, utilize a field even. For toddlers, something as simple as looking at a bush with different branches on it and different leaves is super exciting to them. So have fun with that kind of stuff. The other thing I want to talk about is the library. So talking about the language category a little bit. Read, read, read to your kids. I'm sure you've heard that before, whether you're Montessori or not. The more reading you can do to them, the better. It really helps to develop their vocabulary and really helps to work on the language development. So if you don't have access to tons of books, there's always the public library. I know it sounds old school, but I've rediscovered a love for the library since George has been born. They have so many different books, lots of different board books if you're worried about them getting a hold of them, and we're really enjoying going to the library, checking it out. It's a trip in itself and it costs nothing. So definitely don't forget about the library. Also, in terms of the library, for him it's great, but for me, I didn't realize this, but nowadays they actually have audiobooks and ebooks that are available with the library. At least our library does anyways. Especially when you have a toddler in tow, you don't have the extra minutes to kind of browse around for yourself. It's definitely an in and out kind of situation depending on how, loud and excited or cranky they are. So when I heard about this, I was able to go home once George was asleep. I could go on my phone and just browse all the different titles in terms of audiobooks and ebooks that they have, and I actually was able to find The Montessori Toddler by Simone Davies, which is my favorite, and I really wanted to buy it, but at the time I just didn't want to justify it, so I was able to find it on audiobook at the library. And audiobooks are great for me right now because I don't have the time to sit and read anything. It has to be in my ear while I'm doing other things. So yeah, utilizing the library, I can't say it enough. It is a great resource and always free. The furniture thing, I know especially online, the furniture and the materials is something that people get a little bit carried away on. And I talk about this a lot, but I'm going to touch upon it one last time in this video. Well, probably not the last time, but I'm going to touch upon it again in this video. You don't need the shelves, you don't need the learning tower, you don't need the materials to be Montessori or to do Montessori. You can use any furniture that you have a space to clear off for them, even if you don't have any furniture. If you can clear space on the floor for them and just put out a couple of toys spaced out apart from each other and keep it minimalistic, that is Montessori. If you have a chair or a stool or even, I don't know, a box that'll hold them just to get them up onto your level, then that is Montessori. If you can't do that, or if you don't have any of those things, then bring whatever it is down to their level on the ground. That costs nothing. You either want to bring them up or you want to bring it down. So you don't need any money for that stuff. It just is how you approach situations. So I know all the materials and the stuff and the Instagram worthy pictures is all, wonderful, and I totally love it too, but it doesn't have to be, you don't need any of that stuff to do Montessori. So that's it for this series. Let me know what you thought about the series down below in the comments. I love, love, love to hear from you. It really helps me to kind of figure out what it is that you guys like seeing and don't like seeing, so I can make videos that you want to watch. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit the notification bell. I try to put out videos on Thursdays at noon, and it's been really fun hanging out with you. I will see you in the next video.